So before I started making this video, I went and did a little bit of research on YouTube trying to figure out if anybody had made a good video about DatPiff, because DatPiff is something that I know not only myself, but many others hold close to heart, especially a lot of people who in their younger years were, listening to mixtapes on DatPiff. From what I can tell, nobody has made a video even discussing DatPiff or what it stood for, what it really meant, and how much crazy music and how many crazy artists built a huge career off of this free music distribution service. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me because in a modern day and age where kids don't even really get the idea of a mixtape anymore or get the real specialities that came with a mixtape like they did back in the DatPiff days, it's kind of mind-blowing to me that nobody has went and did a video summarizing anything talking about DatPiff or showing off the crazy just artists that did get a rise from that. There were so many legends still continuing to make music, make absolutely massive records today. Most of this current age of rappers was built off of that DatPiff era. You had J. Cole, you had Logic, you had Wiz Khalifa, he was one of the big fucking pushes on DatPiff. Lil Wayne was always dropping mixtapes on DatPiff. I think Meek Mill back in 2018 or 2019 had the top mixtape on there still with Dream Chasers too. And it just in general had a huge influence on the culture of hip-hop, both in a way of just allowing artists to put music out there free in this very new, very still growing at the time internet landscape of music, but also in allowing artists to tap in and do weird new things, like artists such as Lil Wayne, who already had an established career, and it allowed them to go back and really kind of do something different and go over other people's beats, more famous beats that he didn't already make or he didn't already rap over because he didn't own the rights to them, but in this route it would allow him to have fun and still make a free body of work for fans to listen to of him just going over his own personal favorite tracks. And that's always been the biggest, most glamorous part of DatPiff to me. It was always such a great website, and especially as somebody who when they were younger didn't have Spotify or Apple Music or any streaming service really. I didn't have any premium service or anything like that. I would just use the free services if I wanted to, but honestly the vast majority of my listening between my middle school and high school years was done on DatPiff. That platform had an insane amount of just free, phenomenal music on it. It can never be understated how essential DatPiff is to where we are today. And it also is a little sad, and I'm gonna probably title this video in a way also addressing both sides of it because it's kind of a two-in-one video. I feel like mixtapes, for the concept that they've become known for in this current day and age, have basically died. As far as what they were, you either know mixtapes as one of two things, either a compilation of your favorite songs, which in the modern day and age is just playlist, or you know mixtapes as a body of work presented by an artist, usually going over some other rapper's beats or some other people's instrumentals, and maybe having a few of their own beats mixed in there as like their own solo showings, but typically it was just kind of a fun project to go over other people's stuff. But in a streaming world where everything is very sample ridden, you have to go through labels, you have to get clearances on everything, that project just doesn't exist anymore. That idea does not exist anymore. And while you could still totally be an artist who can make a mixtape and upload it to something like SoundCloud, no matter how dead SoundCloud is at this point, or you can post it on YouTube or anywhere else, which are all still, at least especially YouTube, great viable options for getting your music out there, it was never as direct of a platform, as close to like a DSP as DatPiff was. And it really sucks because I feel like during that era we seen so much talent rise and come out of there that really shined because of the abilities that not only the technological advances had given them, but the advances of the internet. Having something like DatPiff would allow them to, kind of cast out their own project, put it out there for more people to see. And there was other things as well around the time that contributed to stuff like this. Some of the most notable other things at the time with DatPiff that were kind of pushing these artists out there were blogs. Like I think probably the biggest example would be Two Dope Boys, really kind of casting a light on these up and coming artists, and it gave more and more power to younger artists who were just putting out a project to see what they could make, and really people getting to shine a light on it. And again, I cannot emphasize how legendary some of the projects that we got were out of this. You had Tyler the Creator have Bastard put out, you had again all of Logic's Young Sinatra mixtapes, you had Meek Mill get his kick on there with Dream Chasers, you had Future dropping Monster on there with Metro Boomin. I think that may have even came out on streaming services as well, but I just really only know it from DatPiff because I definitely listened to it for free on there. there. Wiz Khalifa with mixtapes like Kush and OJ. You had Mac Miller with mixtapes like Kids and Best Day Ever. You had J. Cole with Friday Night Lights, The Warm Up, and I'm pretty sure all of his earlier mixtapes came out almost exclusively on DatPiff. But again, in a modern day and age, the kids will never get to experience that, and that is crazy to me. This platform that showed off so much love and so much support for a younger artist trying something and getting out there, and don't get me wrong, it was a fucking legal gamble, I'm 100% sure, because I remember even in the years that I was using DatPiff, there would be free albums that got posted like release day from streaming services over on the DatPiff, or shit, if the album leaked, it would get put on the DatPiff for completely free. For the people that were actually doing something and making something fun out of it, putting out their own bodies of work, putting out their own mixtapes, they made something super fucking special with that website. And I don't know why I really even kind of was like thinking about this recently. It was something that just popped into my head, and it really kind of was digging at me that I got to experience that. I really got to experience the mixtape era of online music in a way that it wasn't necessarily huge at the time. It was really through its golden years between like 2008, maybe 2007, all the way up until like 2012, 2013, maybe even 2014, 2015 at the absolute latest. But it was just really getting to me, because as I was thinking about it and I was going back and I was listening to some mixtapes that I have not heard in years because they're just not on streaming services yet, slowly but surely they're working through a lot of these major artists to get those mixtapes on the streaming services, but there's just some that no matter what you do, they're not going to get cleared. I'm pretty sure even Lil Wayne's No Ceilings, all of that wasn't cleared when it got posted on the Spotify. So many legal issues with those tapes that you can't really put out there, but it allowed so much more creativity for artists to just open up and do whatever they wanted to and mess with whatever samples they wanted to. And guess what? The music's free. You can't do anything really about it. There's no copyright being broken. Obviously, yes, they are taking, a snippet of your song and flipping it into whatever, but there's no monetary gain for it. Therefore, it really shouldn't be a problem. I just really want to see mixtapes make a comeback. I don't know why. I really do, because I'm still with the idea of mixtapes in the modern day, but they are so not what I remember them being or what I kind of grew up on. I say grew up like I'm fucking like 30, or like I've like lived through like a good chunk of adulthood. I haven't, but at least back in my middle school, high school years when I was listening to mixtapes, that is what I remember and that is what I love, and I want to hear more of those come out. But unfortunately, again, in a modern landscape, you just can't do that. It is all original music. And what people were really pointing out, I think the first time that it really got pointed out to me was the Doechii album review that I did a couple months ago, which you should go check out if you have not already. People were in the comments telling me, hey, it's a mixtape, it's not like her debut album on TDE, it's a debut mixtape. I was just kind of sitting there left like, okay, but how? Well, what is the line now for what's a mixtape and what's an album? I'm genuinely interested. What is the line in the sand that divides a mixtape from an album? Because back when I was listening to mixtapes, that line was, mixtapes had rappers going over other people's instrumentals and, a bunch of fun shit, just messing around doing things that you couldn't do. But nowadays, it seems like most mixtapes are just albums, essentially. The only thing that's even kind of still alive from that whole era of mixtapes is the chopped and screwed like DJ cuts that people would do, which those were, around way even before then on like the older like mixtape days. But like you had the hosted projects on there. You had DJ Khaled hosting, you had DJ Drama on all of the old Gangsta Grillz mixtapes. Just these super fun mashups with these DJs going over them, doing their own fun little things. You always had the Gangsta Grillz fucking tags on the tracks. Just super fun. And again, the only thing that we can even say, like especially in like the DJ Drama case, the only thing that's even been remotely close to that is Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, because that's literally a Gangsta Grillz mixtape, but as an album. And it's just so fun. I like hearing stuff like that. Reminds me of those mixtapes, and I want that feeling back. But unfortunately, artists just can't. There is no return on the investment anymore for putting out a mixtape like that. And it's in a situation where, but unless you're somebody who has a massive fan base over exclusively on YouTube, you just can't put out a mixtape like that anymore. Unless you are, at the greatest label with the greatest sample clearance person, and they can just fire off clearing samples. But even then, I guarantee you're not getting paid for the track. I don't know. I don't know, it's just been something that I've been thinking about, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it as well. The mixtape feels like a dying art that I want to see people come back around and do more of. I would love to see big mainstream artists do stuff like that. I would love to see people that, you know, have been doing albums, have been doing things their way for the past, you know, probably 4, 5, 6 years onward, step out of their comfort zone and do something like that, especially within the hip-hop realm. I would love to see something like that happen. I know, again, the only couple of people that I can think of that have put out a mixtape even kind of in that vein or in any sense like that would be Doechii, but again, it doesn't really seem like a specific type of mixtape. I don't really know. I think the mixtape is just kind of used loosely. The term, at least, is used very loosely. I think the term mixtape is just being used loosely in the modern day, which, I mean, again, who gives a fuck, right? It doesn't really matter, but it's just something that I've been thinking about, right? I can't be the only one who thinks that it would be cool to have a platform like DatPiff again, where artists can put out their own free cool shit, but I really, really, really wish that one day we will get back to the point that we have a free platform like DatPiff. And technically speaking, DatPiff still exists, but it's dead. Like, DatPiff itself is dead. They've just ended up taking their entire mixtape backlog and archiving it over on the Internet Archive, which, by the way, shout out to whoever decided to do that at DatPiff. You're a real one. That is like terabytes worth of music that's just there, saved forever. Very, very cool. I appreciate you. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I'd be interested to hear what you guys saw. Let me know if you guys even really listened on DatPiff, or if you guys really had any connection to DatPiff. And if you guys did, tell me what your favorite mixtape was, what you were there for. That's my biggest regret, is that by the time that I was really using DatPiff and really understood what it was as like an app, it was already way past its prime. So I was just on there when like couple of people maybe were putting out free mixtapes, like Lil Wayne maybe had dropped like Dedication 6 on there. That may have been the only project that I remember being there for when it dropped. But past that point, like, everybody had already dropped everything, right? Future had his run, Migos had their run, everybody had done their mixtape shit on there. And yeah, it was very, very cool still, though, having that much access to just great free music. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But that's going to do it for this one. Just wanted to make this short little video for you guys and just kind of talk and nerd out a little bit about DatPiff. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new. And again, please let me know your guys' experience with DatPiff in the comments. I really, really do want to hear what you guys have to say about DatPiff, because I feel like I'm the only motherfucker, other than a couple of other people, who remember DatPiff at all. And I just need to know that I'm not insane. So again, thank you guys so much for the love and support, especially on the last video. The bully reaction did fantastic. I know there were people in the comments just talking about like some stuff relating to the album, but either way, thank you guys so much for the love. It's been insane. And yeah, let's keep killing this shit. Sorry this video is a little bit delayed at this point, because I know that I had a bunch of shit pop up throughout my week. But yeah, it's here now, and I'm hoping to get another reaction up here very, very, very soon to an album that I've been wanting to listen to now for a minute. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys did enjoy it, and it's been Vecmen, and peace out.